I've always been thrilled with my Ford Bronco Black Diamond, but there's been one thing since I got it that I have been wanting, especially because I had it on my Bronco Sport, and that was the premium headlights with the signature DRLs. Well, today, we're finally going to update my older headlights for newer ones. These Sunpie headlights that are for the 2021 to 2024 Ford Bronco are a steal at the price, considering they have a blacked out housing, sequential turn signals, and you could choose between amber or white DRLs. They're also supposed to be plug and play, which means no modifications necessary. I'm excited to get these in my Bronco and see how they look. So the very first piece we need to go ahead and remove is this cowl right here. So the way we're going to do that are these little tension fitting prongs right here. We're going to pop them up. And then there'll be 4 10mm bolts underneath that we'll need to remove. You know what? I think I actually do have to remove these pieces. Yeah, I think those hold it into place. So I think they're supposed to come out as one piece. Those are so much easier to take out, man. So I just removed all the little tabs that were right here, and now the next step is to actually pull the cowl up and remove it. Now it does tend to get stuck on this guy right here, so I am gonna go ahead and remove this, and the way you do it is by lifting it up. And then you should be able to just pull it out. There we go. Now the cowl should be ready to be removed. There we go. And now there's 4 10mm bolts that we need to go ahead and remove. It's the 4 that are closest to the front. So now that the bolts are out, we're going to go ahead and pull the grill off. Now all this does is take a little bit of force to pull it right off, and it should be fairly easy. So let's go ahead and get it started. I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side now that I have that side out, and I'm going to work my way towards the middle. Whew, all that dirt. Okay, so I do have LED letters in my grill, so I do want to try to see if I can disconnect that to give me a little bit more play. Now that everything's disconnected, we're gonna go ahead, take the grill, and we wanna put it somewhere safe. So the next step is we actually have to remove this piece right down here, and in order to do that, you actually have to remove your fenders. And there we go. And now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So now that the fenders are removed, we can go ahead and remove this piece down here. Now it is just retention, so just a little bit of force will get it right out, and it's just plastic. So now technically I could go ahead and remove the whole piece because there's clips right here in the middle and the front. However, I can access the bolt that I was looking at just by taking off the 2 sides, so I'm going to leave it as is, and then I'm going to work on the bolts next. Well, at least that dropped to the floor. Switch your socket size to an 8mm for the 1 bolt underneath. So the next step before we actually remove the headlights is you do have to pull out this plastic push pin right back here, and I'm going to use a plastic pry tool for that. So we struggled a little bit with the plastic push pin. The top of it was not thick enough, and it just kept bending on us, so we tried plastic pry tools. Didn't really work because the plastic pry tools were bending. So then we tried a metal pry tool, which worked until I decided to leverage it from underneath the actual plastic piece itself. and I ended up breaking off a corner of one of the old headlights. So definitely don't do that. What we ended up having to do is lifting it using the plastic pry tools and then gripping it with some pliers and just gently rocking it side to side to pull it out. Our next step should be to just go ahead and pull these out. And of course they have some like pins in the back that are to help align it. So you do have to be careful when pulling it out. And now that it's pulled out, there's a harness in the back that I need to unplug. The headlights do come with this harness right here. Now this harness is gonna connect to the back of the headlight and then to the cord that we unplugged from the headlight. Then this piece down here, the red one, is going to go ahead and plug into one of the cords from the fuse tap itself. Now both sides are going to plug into the same fuse tap, so one of the cords is shorter, one of the cords is longer. The shorter one goes to the driver's side, longer one goes to the passenger side. So I'm going to go ahead and remove fuse 24 because that is the fuse we're going to tap into, which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead, use a pair of pliers to gently pull it out. I'm going to set it aside over here. And then the fuse tap is going to go right in there. And I was able to get this cord right here underneath the bar. So I go right alongside the battery like that. And then the red cord is right here. Connect red to red. There we go. Now that should be all ready. Right now they're running white, as you can see. And the reason why we decided to wire it the way that we did was because when I want amber, or if I decide I want amber, or if I decide to change my mind, all I have to do is unplug this plug right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And let's see what happens. And now they're amber. Easy switch. All I gotta do is pop the hood, unplug, or plug and then unplug, vice versa, and I get what I want. So amber with it unplugged. If I plug in the two white cords, it goes to white. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, this is the wire from the fuse tap, so I'm running it to the red cord that's on the back of the headlights right here. So these are going to go up through here. Again, I'm going to zip tie them to the top just to make them easy access. I have to go ahead and replace the plastic push pin, so there is a spot right here, so I'm going to go ahead, line it up with the hole, and use force to just push it in. Alrighty guys, so what I did is I have the cord coming from my fuse box right here. I'm gonna go ahead and run it along with some of my other cords that I have for my light up Bronco lights. Then I'm gonna go ahead, run it along this cord by zip tying it, zip tie it to the other side, put the plastic cowl on top, and make sure I have these plugs right here zip tied somewhere that is easy to access, so that way whenever I decide to go back to white, I can. Alrighty guys, that's the final installation, and I've got to say, I love these headlights. I'm going to run with the amber for a little bit, but I might switch them back to white because they impressed me a lot more than I thought. They're pretty bright too at night with the normal headlights on, so I am very impressed, especially for the price. Now, if you want to go ahead and get your hands on a set of these, we do have a link down in the description box. And let me know down in the comment box what you think. Should I run with amber or should I run with white? Subscribe to the channel if you want to see any more Bronco modification content, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.